What's going on, my Scorpio pals? This is the Mixtape Mystic, and this is your general tarot reading / oracle as well. Reading for the sign of Scorpio for the month of June 2023. So we're going to jump right into the reading, which I kind of always cringe whenever every tarot reader says jump right in, but here I am saying it. No offense to any other tarot readers who say that. It's too easy, but we are going to get started here. And the cards are coming in hot for you. Literally, look, wow, the 8 of Wands. It's all wands here. What's going on? What is going on? No, I don't want to finish this reading. I'm just kidding. It's okay. It's going to be fine for you. We don't even have the oracle yet. So, Scorpio, here's something I will say. How we're breaking this down is we're doing each row here is a week of June, and we have the tarot, and then we're going to have the each of these cards clarified by whatever the prism oracle energy is here. So it really helps extract kind of a more specific meaning out of the tarot card. I really love this spread. Been doing it so far this month for the other signs. This is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So feel free to check your other placements as well. This is so interesting for you so far, Scorpio. So you have week 1. You have the 5 of Wands, and it is typically a card of struggle. It's definitely like it's a 5, so you know that would be numerically it's kind of Gemini energy, so it's thinking, it's your mind, it's Mercury. Mars and Gemini, I believe, is the astrological symbolism of that card. Mars and Gemini, we had a huge retrograde in Mars and Gemini, and it made Mars stay in Gemini this past year, really from like last August up until just a couple of months ago. So very much like a just a really long ass energy, if I'm being real. This is like, what a theme here. Like, you guys are not kidding. This is possibly the most Scorpio reading I could think of. It maybe not so much because the death card didn't show up, but okay, wow. Well, here's how it's gonna go for you this month, Scorpio. Like I was saying about the 5 of Wands, it's a very juxtaposed energy here because you have the 5 of Wands clarified and rooted down by the sweetness card. And like I was saying, this is like talking about struggle, but you can see the people that are illustrated in the Rider-Waite-Smith, like they're kind of the kids, kind of, right? They're like they're sparring. Like it's even though it's struggle, it's the kind of struggle that is teaching you lessons, and also just kind of engaging, letting out energy. I feel like this first week of June here, which is depending on when you're watching this, if you're watching this in the few days after it's posted, this is an energy we're already moving out of this month. So but I feel like for some of you, the reason that this is really coming up as Mars and Gemini for me is I think that was a very significant time for a lot of you this past August up until really just recently, probably up until if we were talking about this being kind of the incoming energy that you're bringing into the reading, like I think really it's sort of a little bit of shadow just based off of the Scorpio eclipse that we had the first week of May, which is, I'm sure that y'all felt that. Like if something happened for you around the first week of May this year that just was very like rocked your world, changed everything, tower moment for you, put it in the comments as much as you're willing to share, obviously. But like I feel like this is what this is saying is that a lot of that energy that has maybe been difficult since you've been in this eclipse axis, it's getting softer because that last eclipse in Scorpio you had May 5th. It was May 5th this year. That was the last Scorpio eclipse, I'm pretty sure. And so we're shifting out of the axis. I think there might be like a partial in the fall, but it's not. We're mostly, as of July, mid-July, moving into the eclipse axis of Libra and Aries. So you're feeling this energy kind of soften a little bit, and there's probably a lot of integration that's happening for you because I have several Taurus placements personally, and I was feeling that axis the last year and a half really heavily, like some huge themes of just working through some karmic stuff. Because remember, eclipses are a lot less to do with the intentions that we have coming into reality, manifesting those things. It's a season of moon cycles that has a lot more to do with what the universe is intending for you and what you need to work through karmically and dharmically, really. So it was a really crazy season for that, though. Like, you're not going to experience that again in the same way for another 18 years. So pat yourself in the back and, just send the universe some gratitude that this energy is getting softer. So really interesting. Yeah, it's super interesting that's how that's coming through. But moving into your second week in June here, Scorpio, we have the Eight of Wands rooted down, clarified by the Mystery card. And I really can't help but notice like how much pink purple you have lit up here. Like these prism cards, I don't know if you've seen them before, but there's literally, I mean, it's the whole point of it, right? It's like a prism, light prism, but like there's all kinds of different hues and colors and stuff, but you have all really up until this like soft gray that comes to the end, you just have pinks, purples. That really feels significant. I feel like what that is saying to me in this spread is you're going to have a lot of like 6th and 7th chakra activation experiences. A lot of you who are on an awakening process. You might be experiencing instances where you're going to bed and you're closing your eyes and you're seeing kind of this purple smoke or like these purple lights sort of dancing around. If that's happening for you, drop that in the comments, because like that's something worth talking about. That's a sign that your 6th chakra is really active and that you're tapped in psychically to something that's happening. So it's a really great like connection to have. I really feel like that's coming through here for some of you. For those of you who aren't experiencing that, that doesn't mean this isn't your reading. It just means that there's probably a lot of different energies that I'm picking up on kind of coming through, and that's just one that's a little bit more prominent for some of you. But talking about the second week, though, having your Eight of Wands being clarified by the Mystery card. Eight of Wands is a card of a very quick, very fast incoming energy. Oftentimes it's communication that's coming in. So with it being clarified by the Mystery card, like that feels like a very, like, you're going to be blindsided by this. Like whatever communication comes in the second week, it's not going to be something you're really expecting. And I feel like when you catch wind of it, it's going to be something that will, you feel like you don't have all the facts. Like it's like maybe one of the reasons it's confusing is because you just don't have, like you're trying to wrap your mind around it and like something isn't making sense. And you're like, I don't think I have the whole story here. So that's going to be for some of you. For others of you, I feel like the second week, what this is saying is that there's a lot of the uncertainty that you have around something is going to be cleared up very quickly when you receive some new information. And that could be a number of things. We'll just kind of get into the rest of the read here to maybe see what's going on for you. But it's a lot of mysterious energy. You have like wands, your first 3 weeks of the month. which is, you know, fire energy. It's activation, it's movement, it's and I just keep coming back to like these pinks and purples. Like I really feel like for a lot of you Scorpio pals, we have like your this month, this is a huge month for you in reaching a certain tier of your spiritual awakening process that you haven't reached before. And there's no doubt in my mind that that's coming from you coming off of that eclipse and really integrating what was a final like slam dunk of a moon transit for you. And it like this energy of like the, what I was saying with the mystery card and the two, or the 8 of Wands being like, oh, whatever was hazy and murky, confusing for you, that's not going to be the case anymore. The fog is really starting to clear for you. I'm also noticing that in these middle weeks, you have the progression of the 8 of Wands to the 9 of Wands. So with 78 cards in the tarot, to have two that are in sequence to one another come out in their sequence is usually significant. Some of you could be born in 1989. Maybe that's a verification for you if you're wondering if this reading is for you. Or maybe you are celebrating your 89th birthday. If you are, happy birthday. But going from that 8 of Wands to the 9 of Wands, and having it rooted down by the Magic card, like this is such a peak for you, because you know the 9 of Wands could easily be interpreted, and often is, as like the weary warrior. It's like you've been on the journey. Like this isn't your first wand rodeo, so to speak. Like you're a little haggard looking. It's nothing like the, you know, the Ace of Wands or the 2 or the 3 of Wands with the young emperor trying, you know, starting out on that journey. This is a point in whatever it is that you've been taking action on. The 9 of Wands is a point where you're like, it's sort of the darkest before the dawn. So, you know, so to speak, that expression of, it's sort of when you finally give up on something and completely let it go and realize I'm okay not being that, or I'm okay not having that. That creates this space that then turns into a vortex to where we can suddenly attract it, right? There's this rule, this law to the universe that you can have, you know, as so long as it is for the good of all and the harm of none, you can have anything that you want as long as you don't need it. Scorpio. And like as again, I have one Scorpio placement, but I have a handful of Taurus placements, which is the other end of the axis, right? If Scorpio is death and releasing and transformation, then Taurus is manifestation and creation. And you know, it's so I feel like both of us are very well versed in this energy of needing to let something go and needing to see it be reborn. And that's so wild that as I'm kind of talking about that, we move into the 4th week energy, which is your only major arcana in the entire spread. And it's the Devil card, and it is rooted down and clarified by the Surrender card. And that's a very, like, I almost feel like it's irresponsible of me as an energy reader to encourage my Scorpio friends to really surrender to their devilish urges. I don't think that that's what this is about. I think really what this is talking about is, you know, when you look at the illustration of the devil and the Rider-Waite-Smith artwork, and you see the figures in chains and if you look closely, you can see that the chains around their necks are loose. And there's sort of this reality that the things that bind us, oftentimes the cognitive distortions that we get lost in, the internal narratives that loop around in a figure eight and we can never really exit, the things that we say that we need, but how much do we really need them? However that's coming through for you, like I'm picking up for some of you, it might be just certain, daily vices that you feel bound to. And if it is, I want to encourage, like when you're talking about anything that is used daily, like coffee or like whatever, if it is bringing you into a closer alignment to yourself and you are tempering it and incorporating it with moderation, and it is leading you to be and achieve your full alignment, then really there's nothing under the sun that's this off limits, again, so long as it's for the harm of none. But oftentimes we find these coping mechanisms, right? And I feel like, especially talking about Scorpio energy, which is death and transformation, there can be a lot of taboo, what culturally would be considered taboo, wrapped up in the energy. So I feel like really what the cards are saying in this final week for you is that the things that you're thinking are binding you, that are making you feel so haggard. You've been working tirelessly, toiling, figuring out, asking the question, like, why is it not coming together? Why is something not working here? Like, I'm putting all this wands energy into this, all this fire. Why is something still not, like, I'm still not at the 10? Like, why am I hanging out here tired as hell, leaning on my 9 wands? Through the magic of you opening up to greater understandings inside of you, tapping into your intuitive faculties, you could experience an epiphany at the end of June here as we're moving into Cancer season, which again is more watery energy, much like yourself, where maybe you start to realize that you're holding yourself back in ways that you are finally ready to be honest with yourself about. And that's what they're asking you to surrender to, because it's not about surrendering to those things that we think that we need. It's about surrendering to realizing that the chains are actually pretty loose around us, and we could step out of them if we needed to. So, really powerful reading for you. Definitely a different tone and flavor than the others so far. I'm just gonna get an animal spirit oracle for you. This is the Animal Spirit Kim Kranz deck. I love it so much. So those of you who might be experiencing encounters with animals around you that stick out to you, I know I've been having a lot of bird encounters lately, and I almost mentioned that to one of the other signs, and I forget which one. But then I decided not to, and then at the end of the reading, they got 2 birds that popped out. So really interesting. I saw a very rare bird the other day that I've never seen anything like it, and I spent a lot of time looking it up. I don't know why I'm telling you this, like it's not really necessary. You have the hummingbird coming out. All right. I literally saw a hummingbird today, and I meant to come in and pick up the deck and read this, and I forgot. So thanks for reminding me, Scorpio friends, whoever's out there. Hummingbird energy. This is like a really great energy. All right, it's just a very short blurb. Blurb. Oh my gosh. find it already. Mixtape Mystic. Here we go. Hummingbird. Positive, enthusiastic, spiritually resourceful. Inside the tiny hummingbird resides an endless well of energy and positivity. The hummingbird's secret is that it has learned where to gather nectar, and it returns to these sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. This sacred elixir springs from many sources, but usually involves nature, creativity, and exploring spirituality. Follow the way of the hummingbird, and you cannot go wrong. Every droplet of life becomes sweet, every moment worth savoring. When in balance, smart, curious, loves to learn. When out of balance, pushy, insistent, sharp. To bring into balance, take a class. Yeah, so definitely a lot of spiritual energy around you, as we've already talked about. But I really love that for you, Scorpio. The final card I'm going to draw is from this Moon Magic Oracle deck. I really like it a lot. It's a bunch of different moon illustrations on it. And on the other side of each one is a unique moon mantra to take with you. So one that's popping out for you this month is Waning Gibbous 5. Failure is only learning. I move with confidence and resilience. I've got personal readings open now, Scorpio, so you can click on the link below if you want a personal reading with me. I personally would love to read for you. There are a limited amount of video calls that you can do with me this week, so make sure you get on there and grab one if you'd like. And if this is where we part, thanks so much for being here. And thanks everyone for all the donations so far. That really means a lot to me. I super appreciate it. If you want to donate, there's a link in the description box below as well. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. You've been on YouTube. And if you haven't clicked off the video already, thanks. And I love you a lot. So until next time, Scorpio, peace.